Hey everyone, welcome to DKTV, where we're talking PGA. Oh my gosh, the PGA season. Has it not been exciting? It's getting more exciting, because today we're talking about the Bridgestone Invitational. That's right, you need an invitation to come. You can't just show up. Joining me, DK staff writer Jamie Hinks, Edo Delamonte. Big week in England. We haven't watched what's been going on, so we're just going to talk golf today. I don't know what's happening. So gentlemen, we're off to Akron, Ohio. Not many people usually get excited when you say that. We're going to Akron! Oh my gosh, can we see the big ball of cat fur? I don't know if it's there. I don't know if they have it. But Akron does have the Firestone Country Club, originally set up for employees of Firestone to use, and now they're not allowed to even look at it. But it's an amazing course. It's a tough course. We're talking 7,400 yards, par 70. There's a 16th hole known as the Monster. Surprisingly enough, in the offseason, the Monster likes to hide under children's beds. And so it's a big tournament. Guys, what are we looking for? Edo, you like to run the courses. Tell me about this course. What are you looking at in this weekend?
A number of things. Not necessarily a bomber's course, which is good news, actually. You can sort of be good with driving accuracy. Scrambling is important. And I read on the Fantasy Golf, a brilliant website, by the way, and he says that GIR is important, but even more, actually, proximity to the green. Your good proximity guys tend to be in the top 10 or 20, so those are good things to look at.
Jamie, any thoughts on this tournament coming up?
I was looking at routes in to kind of get what you can gauge on this, and interestingly, the last 7 of the last 9 winners have been inside the top 10 at the WGC Cadillac.
Oh,
so I think that's quite a good one to look at to come in on this. Course form's also essential here. Like if you look at the player, there's so many players that are in the top 10 every year at this course. And of course, you don't have to just have the winner on DraftKings. You can score points quite well just by picking players who finish or make the cut and finish in the top 10. So.
Well, and you're talking about past winners. We've got Adam Scott in 2011, then Keegan Bradley, 2012, Tigra Woods won in 2013. I don't know. He doesn't really play Tigra Woods. And Rory McIlroy. And then another Irishman, an Irishman, not a Northern Irishman, Shane Lowry won it last year.
There's also, it's a lot earlier this year.
Yes.
Because of the Olympics.
Yes.
So maybe that's, in terms of looking at form from the past, that might be something to look at.
Which they moved it up for the Olympics, and yet all the guys seem to be dropping out of the Olympics. I don't want a shrunken-headed baby. No one does. No one wants to have a kid with a head the size of a golf ball. But here's what we get into, is the game. And what happens with DraftKings is you got to choose 6 players, 50 grand. Which players are you choosing? And I'm going to ask these guys, which player are you choosing this week? Go through our lineup. Who are our players? Start with you, Edo. Impress me. What do you got?
Patrick Reed, 9,100. Paddy Reed, he's a top 10 machine, as our colleague Rory defined him, and he simply is. I mean, Houston, Valspar, Texas, Memorial, and I like him as well because he was cut at the US Open. And, you know, that kind of price, he's got a top 10 price. It's actually maybe a bit lower, maybe a bit contrarian. Paddy Reed always annoys people as well. So you can count on him being a tad under-owned maybe. And then there's the fact that he was tied for 39 at Quicken, so he is getting back into it. Wonderful scrambler. Tied for 15th here last year, so I think he's got a good profile.
He's had a few struggles this season, but you're right. He's also someone to do. Jamie, who do you got your first guy?
I've gone for Jim Furyk, 9,500. Yeah, top 20 here in the last 4 years, which I think is going to be incredibly important. I don't like his numbers in greens irregulation, driving distance, or any of that, but recent form is also good. Tied 21st, tied 2nd at the US Open, and tied 52nd before that. He's a good old timer, isn't he now? One of the Ryder Cup vice captains as well. Not that really makes any difference, but yeah, I like Furyk. I think 9,500 is not too much either.
And speaking of driving, he actually looks like a driving instructor. If you actually look at Jim Furyk, he looks like an angry driving instructor. You would just have.
Get out the car.
Get out. Yeah, that's not the stick shift. Anyway, so my first pick, I'm going to go with last year's champion, Shane Lowry. Look, the guy's playing like a champ right now. He won it last year with an 11 under. It's the season of the Irish. You know what? The English have not been doing what I thought they'd be doing this season. So I'm going for Ireland, 8,700. Shane Lowry, you're on my list. Edo, number 2 golfer. Who do you have on your list?
Kevin Kisner at 6,800.
The return of the Kisner.
Yeah, hopefully. No, so that's the thing. Tied for 49 for the US Open. Is the beginning of a recovery? He was also tied for 10th at Dylan DeLuca, but a couple of cuts in that period as well. That's why I like him, because he's a little bit up and down, but you look at his profile. I mean, he's done well here before, and good driving accuracy, good birdie average, really good proximity as well. He's in the sort of 34, 35 kind of foot area. So I think he's kind of got the right profile. And yeah, at obviously because it's only 61 golfers showing up, prices will be, deflated. And 6,800 I think is really good.
Low value pictures, just then it is a depleted field because it's an invitational. It's not like everyone can just come. You're invited because you do certain things. Jamie, who's your second pick?
Russell Knox, 7,500. 27th for the WGC Cadillac. He ranks inside the top 10 for GIR, and he makes a lot of cuts. I've had to take a lot of cheap guys because the middle of my lineup is absolutely loaded.
You went money, didn't you, Jamie? You went money.
Yeah, I went with huge money in the middle. Not huge, but big.
Okay. Big money in the middle. All right. So I'm going to go for my second pick. Here's a guy who's about as consistent as my ability to stay sober. Harris English. 7,300. He sounds like he's English. He's actually not. And also, the most impossible name to say if you have a hard lisp. Try it. Harris English. Say it if you got a lisp. Try it. He's made 4 straight cuts. He's 25th scoring average, and he came second at Dean and DeLuca. Harris English is only 7,300. I think this is a good weekend for him. Harris English on the list. Jamie, go back to you. Third player, who do you got on your list?
Justin Rose, 10,200. I had to have him. He was tied 10th at the Masters, and that tends to be a reasonably good indicator of success at this tournament. He's also tied 17th WGC Cadillac, inside the top 10 for GIR. I could go on. It's like inside the top 10 for birdie or better percentage. He's English, which is a huge thing for success right now. And 4 top 20s in the last 4 years here as well. And he was 4th last year.
And let's just hope he doesn't Brexit by Saturday. Edo, who is your third player?
David Lingmerth at 7,600.
Who?
I have no idea how to pronounce it in Swedish.
Oh, come on, you pronounce everything.
Come on, you need to.
Come on, Edo, you have the tongue.
Because you know how Freddie Ljungberg is supposed to be Ljungberg?
Ljungmerth.
Yeah, I don't know. David Lingmerth. I don't know. But where did he go to college? It's not Sweden.
No, it has to be in America.
Arkansas. Razorbacks.
Yeah.
So yeah, 14 out of 18 cuts. Came 12th at the US Open, so I'm counting on a little bit of form. He is not good enough to be able to snub these kinds of tournaments anyway. And came tied for 6th last year. Decent at proximity, good at driving average. He's driving accuracy, 16th. And this looks like the kind of place where you show up again the following year and you do even better. And at that kind of price, I'm a big fan.
It's always good. I always usually go for middle of the road, and I'm not talking just about my dating. I'm talking actually about some of my picks. So my middle of the road, I actually went, come on, England! Paul Casey. 7,800. He hasn't been playing that great, although he missed the cut at the Memorial US Open. But this is a guy who's racked up 2 top 10s and 6 top 20s in the past few months. And a 4th place finish at the Masters. I like Paul Casey at 7,800. I think this guy is a value. Paul Casey, you are on my list. 4th pick, Edo. Who do you have?
Soren Kjeldsen.
Oh, you pronounce that one better.
700.
Soren Kjeldsen.
Yeah, but in Danish we like Soren Kjeldsen. I don't know.
You gotta drink fish oil, I think, before you pronounce those names sometimes.
Cod liver. Get the tablets.
Get it in.
Oh my God, the opposite of the Bonnie Tyler operation. But no, Kjeldsen tied for 12th last year is one of those players, as Jamie was mentioning earlier, with form. He does tend to actually show up here in the top 20, the top 30. And again, low price. Surprises at the Masters, where you sort of saw him in the top 15 and went, what on earth is he doing there? And then he stayed there. And he has limited stats, a lot of European Tour players, but his proximity is really good. He's inside the 34 kind of foot range, so I really like him.
All right, Jamie, 4th pick.
I gone for Bubba.
Bubba.
10,100.
He looks really skinny for a guy named Bubba, though.
Yeah.
You assume a guy named Bubba is going to be big and drive
big
a
guy.
truck.
Big guy, drives really.
Sister, but this Bubba is not any of those. I don't know though about his marriage situation. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. Maybe tell us, Bubba.
It's fine. Put a lengthy comment in one of the YouTube videos.
Yeah, just
you'll love to do that.
if you do that, I'll email you back. How about that?
You will.
11 out.
Signed headshot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 11 out of 11 cuts this season for Bubba. And he's inside the top 10 for driving distance and GIR. And he's heavily fancied here, I think, amongst a lot of people. And I think 10,100, he's not that expensive when you consider you've got like Dustin Johnson up there at like the 11,000s and Jason Day at like over 12,000. So I think, Bubba might be quite highly owned, I fear, but he'll get you points, I think, quite easily.
Well, here's one guy I'm hoping is not highly owned. I'm going for my 4th pick, Danny Lee. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Kiwi kid. 7,400. This kid, he's getting ready to light it up. He's getting ready for the big stage. 17th at the Masters. 35th of the Players. Tied for 7th of the first round at the U.S. Open. And he's not afraid of the spotlight. This kid was 6th here last year. Tied for 6th. Good tee to green player. He's very consistent. I like him. For 7,400, Danny Lee. Don't let me down, or I will find you. 5th pick, Edo.
5th pick, Brandt Snedeker. That's,
spell it backwards.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
It was pretty hard for him going to school. Brandt, can you spell your name?
So, yeah,
Snedeker?
I'd forget how to spell.
Do you remember one of the English commentators in the Ryder Cup when Brandt Snedeker lost one of the match plays? He goes, "Take that, Brandt Snedeker."
No, that's amazing.
I've got to find you this. I need to find you this clip.
Take that, Brandt Snedeker.
Why?
All right, so go ahead. You got Brandt.
Yeah, forget the fact that he was cut at the US Open. He's got really good history here. And you look at how well he scrambles, 12th in scrambling. Tends to do really well in shots gained around the green as well. So that's the thing. He'll tend to get cut. So I think he's played, 18 tournaments. He's been cut 6 times. But when he does well, he's a home run. So once again, the low 7,000 range, I think that's a really good price. So Brandt Snedeker.
I used to date a girl who was a cutter, really predictable at rock, paper, scissors. So, Jamie, your next one, the 5th one, who do you got?
I've got Kyung Tae Kim at 6,200. Yeah, well, you're going to find out that these lower 2 guys, it took a lot of thought to find these 2 guys because they're very cheap.
Yeah.
He's made 3 out of 4 cuts on the US Tour this year on the 4 events that he's played. He's kind of a new guy. I think the ownership's going to be really low here. And he narrowly missed the cut at the US Open by 1 shot. So the ability is definitely there. And I just don't think people will notice him. He's only played on the tour 4 times. He's playing well, but he's only 6,200. He's not going to. There's a few other guys around that price which I think people are going to target, and it's not going to be this guy.
For my 5th pick, I'm hoping, but I think a lot of people are going to own this guy, the Duff Man, the Duffinator, the Hillary to my Duff. Once you've gone Duff, you can't get enough.
Anymore?
Yeah. Take it in the Duff. No, that actually doesn't sound right. Jason Dufner, 8,500. This guy is riding high like Cheech and Chong, which I don't know what that means. I read it in a rap song. But he 8th place at the U.S. Open, top 10 in 23 events, 2 top 10 finishes at this club. Jason Dufner, 8,500. Come on, Duffy. Come on, you got to do something for me. Duffy, I love you. On the list. All right, so now we get to our 6 picks. Start with Edo. Who's your 6th pick?
12,100.
Oh.
Jason Day.
Oh, he's playing at the Olympics. Oh, he's not.
No. He's playing at the Olympics.
No. Day. Oh.
I'd love it if some of the people who've quoted, say, for example, the cited the illnesses to not show up, then show up with their friends and just drink loads of beer and watch the Olympics and go, hello, when the first camera catches Rory McIlroy there or whatever. It's yeah, exactly. Bom dia. It's Rorinho. Tem nada que fazer. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I see Jordan Spieth and Smiley just going down there and having a party. That's all.
Yeah, you should. That's Brazil's great place to party and win some gold.
They don't need to have kids yet. They're young guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently, I've even been told that in the cities it's quite an overestimated issue anyway, at least from Brazilian acquaintances of mine. But
I'm sure the Olympics won't be as the way people are talking about it. It'll be different than they think. But a lot of people. There's a lot of star athletes that are going there, whether it's basketball or golf or whatever.
True.
So there's you've got a big insurance policy riding over your head. There's going to be some people saying maybe you don't want to go.
I guess with the golf as well, it's a new event, so people are going to be like, oh, do I really need to go to this? So is it worth it? Is it worth me putting my Ryder Cup chances in jeopardy by getting ill in Brazil?
Yeah, and plus, is it worth me playing on a course that was bulldozing down a whole bunch of poor people? I don't know. Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another,
Yeah, first world problems.
Whole,
Jamie, let's move on to you then. Who you got your 6th pick?
I've gone for beef. Andrew Johnston, 6,300. He's been in red hot form since he won the Spanish Open on the European Tour. I mean, he's not particularly experienced on the US Tour, but he performed really well at the US Open. He seems like a bit of a ledge. And he qualified for the Open for the first time on Sunday. So I'll be seeing him very soon on the Open as well.
And we're all very excited about the Open because DraftKings has got a big contest going away, $3 million contest, $1 million guaranteed around the British Open, so that's always very exciting. We'll be around for that. I am hoping to be at the course this year and not get kicked off like I was last year. But, so I got to get through my sixth pick. And generally the way that I work my sixth pick, and I know you guys are looking for this logic, Wade, how do you work it out? You're obviously a mentor for us golf-wise. I go with the money that I have left. And that's an interesting thing. That's the way I work. Money I had left, I took Brooks Koepka. Yeah, 9,900, pretty good. This guy's been playing really hot, like hotter than a dog left in a car in July, without the smashed glass and windows around him. Tied for 6th here last year. His past 3 appearances, tied for 2nd, tied for 2nd, tied for 13th. Brooks Koepka, 9,900. You're gonna win, man. I know you're gonna win this all. I don't know if you win, but at least win me some points. All right, so let's take a look at all the lineups we've got. We'll start with Edo's lineup first. Take a look at it. Edo, we pull your lineup there. Yeah, we can see all the players you've got. Amazing players. Amazing guys. It's a great lineup. 12,100, 9,100. Amazing that you've got there. Let's bring up Jamie's now. Jamie, bring up your lineup. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a big value. 10,000. You've got some cheese, but you blew your wad on 3 big men. Movie I was in high school. And also, then let's bring up mine. Oh, look at the winning lineup. Oh, it's so, I just want to kiss it. Lowry, English, Casey, Lee, Dufner, and Koepka.
It's so equal.
It is. I know. I'm a very well-balanced man, which is not what anyone who's ever dated me has said to me. No, not at all. So those are our lineups. What's in your lineup? How are you going to put together your roster for the Bridgestone Invitational? Go to DraftKings.co.uk or DraftKings.com if you're in the United States. Put together a 6-man roster. You have $50,000 which to spend on these players. Not we just don't give you 50 grand. You're like, hey, go have some fun. You got to spend it on the players in here. You can win big during the Bridgestone Invitational. Welcome to big time. Welcome to PGA on DraftKings.